All right, so today we're diving into something I think pretty groundbreaking,
Okay.
collaborative AI.
Sounds fun.
And I think most folks have heard of these large language models,
Mhm.
like Bloom 176B,
Yes.
these things with billions of parameters,
Huge.
and they can do incredible things with language.
I can.
The problem is
Yeah.
they need a supercomputer just to run.
Well, that's where things get interesting.
Okay?
What if you could run those models without a supercomputer?
Really?
Yeah. What if you could use the power of like lots of regular computers, like all working together?
Like a distributed system.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
That's the idea behind PETALS.
Okay, so instead of one giant machine, we're talking like a network of computers all chipping in.
Yeah, think of it like a crowdsourced supercomputer, but instead of money, people contribute their computing power.
Oh, interesting. So how does that work?
So these contributors, they're called servers.
Okay.
And the people who want to use the model are clients.
Okay. Servers and clients. I like it.
Yeah.
So how does that actually work in practice? Like if I wanted to use Bloom to write a screenplay, how does that work? How does my request get split up and processed by all these different servers?
Okay, so imagine you're sending a message through a chain of friends.
Okay.
Each friend passes the message along till it gets to the final destination.
Gotcha.
PETALS works in a similar way.
Okay.
Your request gets divided into smaller pieces,
Okay.
and each server processes a piece of the puzzle.
So it's not as simple as just dividing the work and hoping for the best.
No, you're absolutely right. One of the key challenges is speed.
Okay.
We're not just talking about processing power here.
Mm-hmm.
It's also about how fast these servers can talk to each other.
Yeah, that makes sense. If there's a lag in communication, the whole system could just stop.
Exactly.
So how does PETALS overcome that obstacle?
Well, one way is through dynamic quantization.
Okay.
It's like taking a high-resolution image and compressing it into a smaller file,
Okay.
but without losing the important details.
Oh, so you don't lose any of the fidelity? Interesting.
So by compressing the data, we can speed up the communication,
So it's like sending a zip file instead of a giant folder full of images.
pretty much.
Yeah, okay. That's a neat analogy.
Thanks.
What other speed boosting tricks does PETALS have?
Okay, so another one is prioritizing low-latency connections.
Okay.
Think of it like a smart GPS for data.
Uh-huh.
Finds the fastest route through the network, avoids any bottlenecks or delays.
So we've got data compression and a super smart routing system.
We do.
Anything else?
Yeah, the third element is load balancing.
Okay.
So imagine thousands of users simultaneously requesting translations or wanting to generate creative text.
That's a lot.
Yeah. PETALS ensures that no single server is overwhelmed by distributing the workload efficiently.
So it's like a well-coordinated team.
Yeah, everyone shares the responsibility.
Okay, so PETALS sounds pretty impressive in theory, but how does it actually perform in the real world? Does it live up to the hype?
Okay, let's look at some real-world comparisons.
Yeah.
So using traditional methods like offloading to run a model like Bloom can take ages,
Yeah.
sometimes several seconds, just to process a single word.
Really?
Yeah. With PETALS, we can achieve speeds that are orders of magnitude faster.
Wow.
We're talking about near real-time performance, even for complex tasks.
That's a game changer.
It is.
It sounds like PETALS is not just about making these models accessible, but also about unlocking their true potential
I think so.
by making them much faster and more efficient.
Absolutely.
But I have to ask, can you do more with PETALS than just run existing models?
Uh-huh.
Can you actually train and modify them in this collaborative environment?
That's where it's really exciting.
Okay.
We can now dive into the world of distributed training,
All right.
specifically parameter-efficient fine-tuning.
All right, you lost me there.
Okay?
What in the world is parameter-efficient fine-tuning?
It might sound intimidating,
It does.
but the concept is actually quite simple.
Okay.
Imagine you have this massive language model,
Got it.
and you want to specialize it for a specific task, like translating legal documents.
Yeah, okay.
Instead of retraining the entire model, which would take forever,
Yeah.
you could just make a small targeted adjustment.
So it's like adding a specialized legal dictionary to the model's existing knowledge base
That's it.
without having to teach it everything from scratch.
Yeah, and that's what parameter-efficient fine-tuning allows you to do.
So it's like adding a specialized tool to a Swiss Army knife,
It is.
making it even more versatile.
Yeah.
So with PETALS, I could theoretically train my own custom AI model, even if I don't have access to a supercomputer.
That's the power of this technology.
This is blowing my mind.
It's about democratizing access to these powerful AI tools and making them available to a much wider audience.
But wait, if everyone is contributing their own little piece to the model,
Right.
How do we ensure that the final output is accurate and reliable?
That's a crucial question, and security is definitely a top priority for Petals.
Okay.
To maintain the integrity of the system, Petals incorporates several ingenious mechanisms.
Like what? Fill me in.
Well, for one, there's this fascinating concept called a bounty hunter system.
What?
Imagine if servers could vouch for the accuracy of their output in exchange for a reward.
Oh, interesting.
It's like putting their reputation on the line.
Okay.
Now, if another user, our bounty hunter,
Okay.
detects that a server is producing incorrect or malicious output, they can claim that server's reward.
So it's like a self-regulating system where the community itself helps to police the network and ensure that everyone is playing by the rules.
Precisely. It's a brilliant way to incentivize good behavior and deter anyone from trying to game the system.
That's incredibly clever. It sounds like Petals has really thought through the security implications of this collaborative approach. But what about privacy?
Right.
I mean, if my data is being processed by a network of computers all over the world, how can I be sure that it's being kept confidential?
That's a valid concern.
Mm.
While we've discussed a lot about the technical innovations and benefits of Petals,
Uh-huh.
it's crucial to acknowledge that there are still challenges and open questions surrounding the broader adoption of this technology.
Okay.
For example, how do we ensure data privacy in a system that relies on distributed computing?
Yeah?
It's a complex issue, and there's no easy answer.
I see. So while Petals is a revolutionary step forward, we still need to be mindful of the potential risks and challenges as we continue to explore the frontiers of collaborative AI.
Absolutely. Responsible innovation means carefully considering both the possibilities and the potential pitfalls of any new technology.
Mm-hmm.
And collaborative AI is no exception. It's a balancing act for sure. But I think the potential benefits of collaborative AI are too significant to ignore.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where anyone with a decent computer can contribute to cutting-edge AI research.
That's a powerful thought. It would truly democratize access to these incredible tools and open up a whole new world of possibilities. But let's shift gears for a second and talk about the people behind Petals. Who are these individuals who are contributing their hardware and making this whole thing possible?
It's truly a global effort.
Okay.
You've got university students eager to test their coding skills, tech enthusiasts with powerful gaming rigs, even research labs pooling their resources.
Wow.
It's inspiring to see this kind of grassroots enthusiasm for collaborative AI.
So it's not just big tech companies calling the shots.
No, not at all.
I love that it feels like a real community effort with everyone contributing what they can, but I'm curious, are there any tangible benefits for these contributors, or is it purely driven by altruism?
Right now, it's primarily driven by a shared passion for AI and the desire to be part of something groundbreaking.
Okay.
However, as we discussed earlier, the idea of a reward system is being actively explored.
Yeah, that whole bounty hunter concept was pretty wild.
It is a novel approach.
It almost feels like a game, but with real-world implications for the accuracy and reliability of the system. But let's talk about the user experience. Is using Petals super complicated, or can anyone with a laptop and an internet connection join the fun?
One of the things that makes Petals so exciting is its accessibility.
Okay.
The client-side software is designed to be lightweight and user-friendly.
Mm.
You don't need a supercomputer to interact with these massive models.
So no need to build a custom rig just to write a poem with Bloom.
No, not at all.
That's a relief. What about the servers? What kind of hardware do you need to run a Petal server?
The minimum requirements are surprisingly modest. If you can run a modern video game, you can probably run a Petal server, a decent GPU, a reasonable amount of RAM, and stable internet connection are the key ingredients.
That's pretty amazing. It really lowers the barrier to entry and makes collaborative AI much more accessible. But speaking of internet connections,
Yeah.
how crucial is speed and latency in this whole setup? I mean, we're talking about data being sent back and forth across the network, right?
You're right. Network performance is a key factor in the overall efficiency of Petals. The faster the data can travel between servers, the smoother and faster the whole process will be. Yeah.
But even with a modest internet speed, Petals can still function effectively. Okay.
Especially for tasks that don't require real-time interaction.
Okay, that's good to know. So let's say I'm convinced and I want to jump in and start using Petals.
Right.
What's the setup process like? Is it plug and play, or am I going to spend hours wrestling with configuration files and troubleshooting cryptic error messages?
The developers have gone to great lengths to make the setup process as straightforward as possible.
Okay.
There's excellent documentation available online, and the software itself is designed to be intuitive. You don't need to be a Linux expert to get started.
That's music to my ears, but even with a user-friendly interface,
Yeah,
there's still the issue of security.
of course.
We're talking about a decentralized network where data is being shared between potentially thousands of machines.
Right.
That sounds like a hacker's dream.
You're raising an important point. Security is paramount in any distributed system, and PETALS incorporates several layers of protection to mitigate those risks.
Okay, tell me more. What are some of the security measures that PETALS uses to protect user data and ensure the integrity of the system?
For one, PETALS is designed to be decentralized.
Okay.
There's no single point of failure, which makes it much harder for an attacker to compromise the entire network.
So it's like a digital hydra, you cut off one head and two more grow back.
Exactly. Additionally, all communication between clients and servers is encrypted, protecting the data in transit.
Okay.
And then there's the bounty hunter system, which we discussed earlier, that adds an extra layer of accountability and helps to weed out any malicious actors.
Right. It's like a self-policing community where everyone has a vested interest in keeping the system secure and reliable.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together, but let's shift gears again and talk about the future.
Okay.
What are some of the most exciting potential applications for PETALS beyond language models?
The possibilities are vast and extend far beyond just language.
Okay.
The core principles of PETALS distributed computing, collaborative development, and accessibility could be applied to virtually any field that leverages AI.
So we're talking about a potential paradigm shift in the way we develop and utilize AI across the board.
Yep.
That's a pretty bold statement, but give me some concrete examples.
Sure.
What are some real-world problems that PETALS could help us solve?
Imagine a network of robots collaborating on complex tasks, each one contributing its unique skills and knowledge.
Interesting.
Or think about scientists around the world pooling their resources to analyze massive data sets in search of breakthroughs in medicine or climate science. The possibilities are truly limitless.
Okay, now you're really getting my imagination fired up.
Good.
We're talking about a future where AI is not just a tool for specialists,
Right.
but a collaborative force that empowers everyone to solve problems and create amazing things. But let's step back for a moment and consider the potential downsides. Every new technology comes with its own set of challenges.
It does.
What are some of the things we need to be mindful of as PETALS continues to evolve?
You're right. Responsible innovation means carefully considering both the benefits and the potential risks of any new technology. One of the key challenges for any distributed system like PETALS is ensuring reliability.
I see. So if one server goes offline or if there's a problem with the network connection, could that impact the entire system?
That's a valid concern. PETALS is designed to be resilient with built-in redundancy to minimize disruptions, but it's an ongoing challenge to ensure seamless operation as the network grows in size and complexity.
So it's like a giant puzzle where we're constantly adding new pieces and trying to make sure everything fits together perfectly.
That's a great analogy, and it highlights another challenge, which is scalability.
Okay.
As more users join the PETALS network and the demand for processing power increases, we need to make sure that the system can handle that growth gracefully.
That makes sense. We don't want the system to become bogged down or overwhelmed as more people jump on board.
Exactly. It's an ongoing challenge for the developers to ensure that PETALS can adapt and scale to meet the growing demand for collaborative AI.
Okay, so reliability and scalability are two key challenges for PETALS. Are there any others we should be aware of?
Another challenge which is common to all AI systems is the issue of explainability.
Okay.
As these models become more complex and sophisticated, it becomes harder to understand how they arrive at their decisions.
So it's like a black box where we can see the input and the output, but not the process in between.
Precisely. And this lack of transparency can raise concerns about trust and accountability. How can we be sure that these models are making fair and unbiased decisions if we don't fully understand how they work?
That's a valid point. It seems like there's still a lot of work to be done to make these complex AI systems more transparent and understandable, even in a collaborative environment like PETALS.
Absolutely. It's an ongoing area of research and development, and it's crucial to ensure that explainability keeps pace with the increasing complexity of AI models.
All right, so we've talked about the amazing potential of PETALS, the challenges of distributed computing, and the importance of addressing issues like reliability, scalability, and explainability. But before we wrap things up, I want to circle back to the human element.
Okay.
What does the rise of collaborative AI mean for us as individuals and for society as a whole?
That's a fascinating question. I think collaborative AI has the potential to fundamentally change the way we interact with technology and with each other.
I'm all ears. Expand on that. What kind of changes do you envision?
For one, I think it has the potential to foster a greater sense of community and shared purpose.
Okay.
Instead of seeing AI as something that's being developed by a select few, we can all be part of the process,
Yeah.
contributing our ideas, our expertise, and our resources.
So it's like a collective intelligence where everyone benefits from the shared knowledge and contributions of the community.
Exactly. And this shift towards collaboration could also lead to a more equitable distribution of the benefits of AI.
Okay.
Instead of AI being concentrated in the hands of a few powerful corporations or institutions, it can be accessible to everyone, regardless of their background or resources.
That's a powerful vision. But I also wonder about the potential downsides.
Yeah.
Could this collaborative approach lead to a fragmentation of knowledge where we end up with a bunch of specialized AI models that can't communicate with each other?
That's a valid concern. It's important to strike a balance between specialization and interoperability.
Okay.
We need to ensure that these collaboratively developed models can still work together, seamlessly sharing information and insights across different domains.
So it's like building a city where all the different neighborhoods are connected by a shared infrastructure.
Yeah.
Allowing people and ideas to flow freely.
That's a great way to put it, and it highlights the importance of open standards and protocols that allow these different AI models to communicate and collaborate effectively.
All right. It sounds like we're on the cusp of a truly transformative era in AI, one that's driven by collaboration, accessibility, and a shared commitment to progress. But, as with any powerful technology, it's crucial that we proceed with both enthusiasm and caution,
I agree.
carefully considering the potential benefits and risks. This idea of collaborative AI, it really challenges what we think is possible.
Yeah, it does. For so long, AI development has been seen as this exclusive domain, right?
Yeah.
Confined to research labs and tech giants with massive resources.
Yeah.
PETALS changes that.
Totally. And it's not just about access to the technology, but also about changing the mindset.
I agree.
We're moving from a competitive siloed approach to a more cooperative, community-driven model of innovation.
It is a real shift.
Yeah, and it's exciting to think about the possibilities that could unlock.
Absolutely. Think about the potential for solving global challenges.
Yeah.
What if we could harness the collective intelligence of a global community to tackle things like climate change, disease outbreaks, or poverty?
Wow, that's a powerful thought.
It is.
It's like crowdsourcing solutions to some of humanity's most pressing problems. But let's bring it back down to earth for a second.
Sure.
How might PETALS impact the lives of everyday people?
The applications are really vast. Imagine AI-powered tools that can help us learn new skills more effectively, personalize our education, or even create art and music.
So it's not just about scientific breakthroughs and solving global challenges. It's also about empowering individuals to be more creative, more productive, and more connected.
Exactly. It's about democratizing access to these incredible tools.
Yeah.
And making them work for everyone, not just a select few. But with all this talk about the transformative potential of PETALS, it's important to acknowledge that, it's still early days.
Yeah.
There are still challenges to overcome.
Sure.
Technical hurdles that clear and questions that need to be answered.
Right. It's not a magic bullet.
Yeah.
We can't just expect PETALS to solve all our problems overnight. What are some of the key challenges that we need to address as we continue to explore this, this new frontier?
One of the biggest challenges is ensuring the reliability and robustness of these distributed systems.
Okay.
As we've discussed, PETALS relies on a network of interconnected computers.
Right.
What happens if one of those computers goes offline?
Yeah.
Or if there's a problem with the network connection?
That's a good point. We don't want the whole system to collapse like a house of cards if one piece falls out of place.
Exactly. So a lot of research and development is focused on building in redundancy, error, correction mechanisms, and fault tolerance.
Okay.
To ensure that PETALS can handle these kinds of disruptions gracefully.
It's like building a bridge that can withstand the strongest winds and heaviest traffic loads.
Yeah.
You need to really over-engineer it to make sure it's stable and reliable.
Absolutely.
But reliability is just one piece of the puzzle, right?
It is.
What are some of the other challenges that we need to consider?
Another key challenge is security. When you're dealing with a distributed network of computers, security is paramount.
Right.
How do you protect user data? How do you prevent malicious actors from infiltrating the system? These are complex questions that require innovative solutions.
That's a sobering thought. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of new technology and forget about the potential risks.
It is absolutely, it's our responsibility as developers, researchers, and users of AI to be mindful of these challenges and to work proactively to address them. It's not just about building cool tech, it's about building tech that is safe, secure, and beneficial to society as a whole.
Well said. It sounds like the future of collaborative AI is a journey, not a destination.
I think so.
It's a journey that requires careful planning, ongoing research, and a commitment to ethical considerations.
I agree. It's not just about building faster algorithms or more powerful models. It's about understanding the implications of this technology, anticipating potential risks, and shaping its development in a way that aligns with our values.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of petals, what's the one key takeaway that you want our listeners to remember?
I think the most important message is that the future of AI is not something that's happening to us. It's something that we are actively shaping through our choices, our actions, and our willingness to engage in thoughtful dialogue about the potential benefits and risks.
That's a powerful reminder. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the rapid pace of technological change, but ultimately we have the power to guide its direction.
Exactly, and that's why initiatives like PETALS are so important. They empower us to be active participants in the AI revolution, not just passive bystanders.
Well said. And on that note, we'd like to thank our listeners for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of collaborative AI. We hope you found it as fascinating and inspiring as we did.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
The future of AI is in our hands.
And remember, the future is collaborative.